Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, I'll be dealing with some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to microeconomics, which is the economics special paper for SYBA and MA part 1. So let's get started. The first two questions are talking about production function, and thereafter we are going to look at three important concepts called as average product, marginal product and total product. So let us look at the first two questions. The short-term production function can be expressed as dash. The short-term production function is also called as the law of variable proportions, and therefore law of variable proportions can be expressed in terms of, or it can be expressed as what? The first is Q, which is output, is a function of labor and capital. Capital is kept constant because it has bar on it. Thereafter we have Q is a function of labor, capital and machine, or capital and material per se. Then we have Q is equal to 1 upon the summation of capital and labor, and third is none of the above. So here we know that in the shorter run it is difficult to make sure that both the factors are variable factor, and therefore one factor is kept as variable and the other is kept as fixed. So here you can see from the table that one factor is allowed to vary whereas the other is kept fixed. So capital is kept at 1 1 1 1 1 and labor is allowed to vary. So in the short run what happens is one factor is kept as fixed and the other is allowed to vary. So here we can see that only option 1 is looking like that, which is in the short run production function, and therefore option A is the correct answer. That means Q is a function of labor and capital. Capital is fixed whereas labor is variable factor. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is talking about the long run production function and how it can be expressed. And the question is, the long run production function can be expressed as dash. So let us look at the options here. Again, I'm saying that when we are looking at longer run, we are looking at both the factors being variable factors. Okay, so here no factor is kept fixed. So let us look at the underlying options. The first is Q is a function of labor and capital. Capital kept as fixed. Q is a function of labor, capital and material. All are variable. Here Q is equal to 1 upon the summation of labor and capital, which is again very obscure, and none of the above. So here now we can see that option B talks about variability of all the factors. That means option B is the long run production function's expression, and therefore long run production function can be expressed as Q is equal to, or is a function of labor, capital and material. I hope these two questions are pretty much clear. Let us now move to an important concept called as total product, marginal product and average product. So the first question is, dash of a factor is the amount of total output produced by the given amount of a factor, other factors held constant. Now let us assume that we have two factors, one is labor and the other is capital. Here what it is saying is, dash of a factor is the amount of total output produced by given amount of a factor, the other factor held constant. Capital is held constant, and we have to look at the amount of total output contributed by the given amount of that factor. Let us assume that it is labor. Now come to this table here. Capital is kept constant, labor is allowed to vary. Now total output produced by given amount of a factor. So here Q is the total output which is produced. Now let us look at the options which are available to us. The first is total product, the second is marginal product, the third is average product, and none of the above. So here it is pretty much clear that the total product of a factor is the amount of total output produced by given amount of a factor. So here the answer is total output, meaning thereby 1 unit of capital and 1 unit of labor is going to create output of 80 units. 1 unit of capital and 2 units of labor are collectively going to create output of 170 units. 1 unit of capital and 3 units of labor are going to collectively create total output of 270 units. So this is how you can look at the concept of total product. That means total product of a factor is the amount of total output produced by the given factor or given amount of factor, other factors held constant. Capital held constant, this is allowed to vary, and this is called as the total product concept. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question. Dash of a factor is the total output produced per unit of factor employed. Per unit of factor employed. Here I am saying total output produced per unit of factor employed. Per unit particularly means it is an average concept. So here, why? Because I am considering labor, because labor is only variable here. Per unit of factor employed, only labor is changed. Okay, capital remains constant, that is why we are using labor here. So total output divided by labor will be giving me something called as the average concept. And here let us look at the options. First is total product, second is marginal product, third is average product, and none of the above. So here it is pretty much clear that we are talking about average product of a factor is the total output produced per unit of factor employed. Okay, so here the correct answer is option C, average product. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Here again, if at all you are interested in looking at how the average product thing is working, so what I am doing is Q divided by L. So when at this juncture, what will be the Q divided by L, that means 80 divided by 1, which is giving me 80. Okay, at this juncture what is happening is 170 divided by 2, which is giving us 85. At third juncture what is happening, 270 divided by 3, so it is giving me 3 9 0 90. Okay, so this is how you are looking at the average concept. That means the total output per unit of the factor, that means dividing that by the variable factor, and this is how I am going to get the units of average product, Q by L. So I hope this table makes it a little easier for you to at least have a sense of how do you calculate that. Okay, let us now move to the next question. Next question is about dash of a factor is the addition to the total production. Dash of the factor is the addition to total production by employment of an extra unit of a factor. By employment of extra unit of factor, what is the addition that is happening to total product? That means what I am looking at here is that what will be the change in total output because of employment of extra unit of labor. So here I am looking at marginal product, additional product. So let us look at the options: total product, marginal product, average product, and none of the above. So here I am looking at marginal product, so therefore marginal product is the correct answer here. What I am doing is I am looking at the addition to the total production, the change in total production because of employment of extra unit of factor, that means because of the underlying change in labor per se. Let us look at it with the help of this table. What is happening is labor, 1 unit of labor is employed. Okay, so here second unit, here third unit, so the underlying change in labor is 1. Okay, so underlying change in labor is 1. So let us look at this juncture, what is happening when labor moves from 1 to 2. So let us look at what what is the change in Q, total product, as well, because our formula requires marginal product is equal to change in Q divided by change in L. Now let us look at what is the change in Q because of 1 unit change in L. 170 minus 80 divided by 1. So when you subtract this, will get 90 divided by 1 or 90 per se. So here this is the marginal product. Okay, this is the marginal product. I hope you can relate to what we are looking at here, which is in a sense easy to understand when we look at it with the help of an example. Okay, so this is what in the next step what is happening. Again, there is an underlying change of 1 unit in the next, at this stage, from 2 to 3. So let us look at it here. What is the underlying change in Q? 270 minus 170 divided by change in L is 1 unit. So here 270 minus, this is 100 divided by 1 is giving me 100. At this juncture it is 100. So I hope with the help of this table it is easier for you to understand what total product means, what marginal product means. Additional change in this factor induces any additional change in the output, and that is what we are recording when we are looking at marginal product per se. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us look at two important questions which are in a sense talking about the mathematical formula for average product and marginal product. Average product is given by dash summation of q by L, delta q by delta L, none of the above. So here I've already told you, whenever we are looking at the average product is given by q by L. Okay, so here option B is the correct answer to this particular question, q by L, when it is average product. Now marginal product, just now we have used the formula which is delta q by delta L. Let us look at the options, summation q by L, delta q by delta L, none of the above. So here marginal product is given by the formula delta q divided by delta L. So this is the correct answer. So I hope this table helps you to at least have a sense of how you can calculate a marginal product and average product, both these concepts, given that one factor is fixed, the other is allowed to vary, and the factor combination is giving us the total output, which is noted here. So I hope the idea of total product, average product and marginal product is pretty much clear with the help of this lecture. Please stay tuned for more. Thank you.